Paying your virtual assistant the right way can have a massive impact on your business. Today, I'm going to go through the pros and cons of pay-per-deal and salaried payments. And it's not as clear-cut as you think. So stay tuned, we'll go through this important question now. If you don't know who I am, my name is Thomas Parkinson, and quite simply, I've been an Amazon seller now for 4 years. Now, I do arbitrage within the UK, and I have in my Amazon business 6 virtual assistants, and in addition to that, in my FastTrackFBA business, I have 24 virtual assistants. So I'd like to think that maybe I've learned a thing or two about managing VAs and how to motivate them and to get the best results from them. Now, quite simply, today we are going through the differences between a salaried VA and a pay-per-deal VA, and we'll go through the pros and cons. So let's quickly define all the sections, all the steps that I'm going to talk about, and then we'll jump straight into it. Okay, so number one, I'm going to define the difference between salary and pay-per-deal. Number two, I'm going to talk about the difference between the two of them in regards to employment and contracts. Number three, I'm going to talk about which one gives better performance. Number four, I'm going to talk about the impact on time on your business. Number five, I'm going to share which ones get better results for your business. Number six, I'm going to talk about the cost and the impact of that on your business. And then number seven, I'm going to share my thoughts behind all of them and what do I recommend and what do I recommend for each one and when it's best to utilize them, because it's not a clear-cut answer. Okay, so first things first, let's just talk about the differences between salary and pay-per-deal. So let's just talk about the salary first. Salary, and I'm sure you do know, is quite simply you have a contract with your VA and an agreement to pay them a certain amount every single month regardless of performance. Now, quite simply, you can pay that monthly or weekly or even, should we say, every 2 weeks. And in my business, we pretty much pay it 2 times per month. Now, the second option is pay per deal. So quite simply with this, there is no fixed amount to be paid. It's a fixed amount per deal and you only pay for results. So you only pay for the amount of money for the number of deals found. Now, how often you pay that and the frequency is completely up to you in your agreement and how often the VA needs to be paid. Now, that leads me quite nicely on to talking about the differences in regards to employment and, should we say, contractual basis. Now, it might sound a bit boring, but quite simply, it's quite important to understand if you don't know. So, number one, when you've got a salaried employee, they're on a contract with you, they work for you and in your business, and they have that security, but also as well, you have an obligation to pay them regardless of performance every single month. They are on a contract with you, and that is ongoing unless your contract stipulates otherwise. Now, the other one is pay-per-deal. There is no contract for that. There is no obligation for them to work, because if they don't work, they don't get paid, but if they do work, then they do get paid. So it's a lot more a flexible arrangement, more like a freelancer, should we say. Now, quick question for you guys, if you're watching this video, what I'd like to know is, do you pay your VAs, or maybe you're going to get a VA, do you pay them salary, or are you planning to pay them salary, or are you looking at doing pay-per-deal? Drop it in the comments down below. I really want to know how many of us are doing salary and how many are doing pay-per-deal. Put it in the comments below. So in regards to performance, what are you going to see when you're doing a salaried VA? Well, quite simply with a salaried VA, I think you'll probably see a more consistent performance. Initially, they might not deliver as well in the number of results because they're still learning to get it up, but they'll probably, over the long term, you'll see a consistent performance. Why? Because a VA is going to be here to work, to earn money, to pay the bills, to look after their family, and they're going to want to make that work. They will give you a consistent performance over the long term, and that's what I've seen. Pay-per-deal VAs, generally their motivation is money, which is going to be about finding deals. Now, you might think this is a really good answer or a really good option to go for. Well, the one thing which I'll say is, just from experience, is when you try and do something like this, you're going to see a massive burst initially, lots and lots of deals coming in, but unfortunately that isn't sustainable. Why? Because to achieve that massive burst, they probably worked something like 12, 14 hours, and it's probably not going to be sustainable in the long term. Right, that leads me quite nicely on just to take a moment to talk about the FastTrackFBA VA Academy. Now, this is a virtual assistant academy run by FastTrackFBA, whereby we go out there and we find, we interview, we test, we train and we do all the contracts for a brand new virtual assistant who will work in your Amazon business. Now, not only that, we support them in your business to get results, and that's what we want for 12 weeks when they start with you. We are checking everything, we are making sure they are delivering results, and we're supporting you. Any problems, give us a call. We will jump in and support that VA and support you to get results. Now, we understand fundamentally that it's about getting the right person first and then supporting them with great training and great support. If you get the wrong person, everything else is pretty much irrelevant. Now, we've got a track record. Last year, we hired 90 VAs into people's businesses. We had a couple of clients come back for 5 VAs, and right now we are training up VAs all the time to support other Amazon sellers for manual sourcing. If you are interested and you want to know more, have a look down below. I will drop a link to the VA Academy and you can learn more about it. And hey, even if you want to have a call with us, free, no obligation, to discuss if it's going to be right for your business, you can do that on that page as well. Okay, so one question you might now be asking is, what about time? So number 4, which one's better for working time? Well, what do we see? Well, quite simply, with a salaried VA, you can either do them on a schedule, either work fixed hours, or you can give them flexi time. In my business, we give them flexi time because I don't need to manage them on a day-to-day, and they don't need to work set hours. What I really care about is the results, so long as they're doing the hours to get the results. That's generally what happens on a salary basis. They're going to probably do flexible hours, and that's what most of our clients do in the VA Academy. But also on a pay-per deal, they will work whatever hours suit them. Now, that might not align exactly with what you want from your business. So because you're not paying them for the time, you're paying them for the results. And if they don't want to work today, maybe they're busy, then you're not going to get any deals. So generally, pay per deal, they'll only work the hours they need to earn the money they need to get the results. And hey, if they've just had a bumper December, finding lots and lots of deals, January might be a bit slower for them because they don't need as much money. Now, one of the questions you might be asking is number 5, which one gives better results? So I talk here from personal experience, but also as well interviewing candidates and also understanding other people's businesses who have run similar types of models through pay-per deal, but also salaried VAs. So first of all, let's talk about salaried VAs. Now, with a salaried VA, the one thing which I'll say is initially the results are probably less. Why? Because they're going to be working, say, 8 hours a day, then going to be learning, training, getting up to standard. Now, the number of deals you're going to be getting per hour worked will be a lot less. To give you an idea, in the VA Academy in the first week or the first month, we're probably looking at anything between 3 and 5 deals per day. And that isn't that many. Now, what happens is over time, they learn, they get quicker, they get better. And as a result, when you get to kind of month 3 and onwards, you're then starting to average anywhere between 8 to 12 deals a day, even up to 15, sometimes more, depending on your criteria. Now, the difference is you're still getting you're still paying the same amount of money, but you're getting many more deals. Bring that back to pay-per deal VA, quite simply, in those first few weeks that they're going to be getting, in 8 hours, they might still only be able to source 3 to 5 deals, but what we see is they generally work a lot more hours. Why? Because they want the money. Now, quite simply, they're probably going to work a 12, maybe a 14-hour day, find more deals, and you're going to think, great, and obviously you pay them for that. Now, the interesting thing is, after 3 months plus, what you're going to see is that the VA can now work maybe 4 hours a day and get the number of deals that they need. Your other VA might be, your salary VA might be working 8 hours and getting 15 deals, whereas your pay-per-deal VA might be getting 8 and actually can do it in 4 hours a day. You're still paying the same amount. Quite simply, what you're seeing is that in the short term, you get better results. Why? There's an incentive to drive to get those results. But as they take time to learn, and obviously they get better and faster, you're going to obviously not get as many, you're going to pay more for the same amount of hours worked, on a pay-per-deal basis. Now, what we generally tend to see is that your salaried VA, because you've invested in them the time, the training, the development, and they've had to learn it all, they deliver better results over the long term. And if you can build a great culture within your company, they will stay for the long term and you'll reap those rewards. Now, the other side, pay-per-deal, quite simply, over the long term, the VA is now much faster. They understand how to get deals, but also as well, because they are driven by money, they are driven by getting the deal to sell to you to earn the money. They now understand the value of that deal, and what they might do and what you might see is that they're now going to look for another client to fill the other amount of time, and sell the deals to them, or different deals perhaps. I'm not saying they can sell the same deals, that's not my place. But there is always a risk of that because they realize that they can now go and earn more money from doing that. So in the long term, there is a risk of having multiple clients. You still get the same number of deals, but they don't have to work as many hours, and as a result, they'll find another client to earn more money. Now, in regards to actual cost, with a salaried VA, you know exactly what you're paying. If you're not running any performance incentives, bonuses or anything, you are paying a fixed amount every single month. But with a pay-per-deal VA, you might say, I only want, 20 deals, and that's going to be a capped amount per month. Now, the VA might want to earn more money because they found more deals. Obviously, they're incentivized for money, so they're going to want to sell those deals. Now, you might say, I'll take every deal you can give me, and you don't know how many deals they can find. So your pay could go down because there aren't many deals. Should we say talking about January, February, when it's a little bit harder, or perhaps maybe it'll go right up if you're looking like December, where deals are everywhere and you can find lots and lots of deals. So different times of year will have different number of deals just due to the nature of supply and demand and promotions, but also as well, your VA will give you a lot of deals or maybe less, and as a result, your payroll cost could go massively up or it could go down, which has quite an impact on your business. Okay, so this leads me on to the final section, which is quite simply about which one is better, which one should you choose. Now, there is no right or wrong answer. They both have their pros and cons, and I'll try and explain that now. Quite simply, if you are looking for a very short term, and I'm probably looking 1 to 2 months, VA to support you in maybe just getting a burst of deal, doing some work, but you're not looking for it any longer than that, you probably look at something like pay-per-deal. Why? Because the incentive is to get results very quickly, and they're going to work towards getting that. Now, the reason why I say maybe 1 to 2 months, you wouldn't want to go any longer than that, is because for every hour they're working with you that you're paying them, they're learning, they're training, they're getting better. And you as a business owner want to reap the rewards of that investment in their learning, training, and development. Now, if you're going any longer than 1 to 2 months, you want to basically have them on a salary. Why? Because quite simply, what we generally tend to see is not only the fact that it helps manage your pay costs, it also as well allows you to retain staff for the long term, it allows you to train and develop them on the long term, and you retain that expertise within your business to get more results. And also as well, you're just going to get better performance. We talked about it in the number of deals, that over the short term, the results you're going to get are less than what you will on a salary. But over the long term, the salary will generally give you much, much better results, and at a cost point which is less than you're doing on pay-per-deal. So really advantageous there. Now, quite simply, when I'm doing my Amazon business, what am I looking at? I'm probably never looking at 1 to 2 months. I'm looking long term. I'm building a business. I want a sustainable business over the long term. That is why I pretty much do all of my staff on a salaried basis. Not to say that I haven't done the pay-per-deal in the past, but everything now is a long term. I want to build in that expertise and that skill set within my team and reap the rewards over the long term. So top tip there, if you are looking to build a business over the long term, salaried employee is what I'd recommend. But if you need something very short, sharp and fast, just for a few months, and there isn't going to be a further requirement, maybe pay-per-deal would be the better option for you. Okay, so that is pretty much it from me today. Hopefully you've enjoyed that video. Give me a thumbs up, and hey, hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos about this. We're doing lots around VAs, lots around Amazon businesses, scaling, growing, and also as part of my journey to 1 million. What I'm going to do is leave a video around here of how to work with your VA. It's just going to really help you out when you've got that VA, how to get the most out of them, communicate effectively across the internet, across different time zones. But for me, Thomas Parkinson and FastTrackFBA, thank you very much.